Okay, people, this is my offer on my page for the app that will change your life financially, physically, mentally, any way you like. So, listen up.
Yeah, I just want to quickly run through and help you to understand that the ordering is very, very simple. You just click on the link, friend would have shared with you, right? And then, it'll come up to this page here. Very simple and easy, right? Now, you can either scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see who it is who sent it to you. But otherwise, you just click on that link and it'll bring you up to this page here, where you can go ahead and then choose what you want to choose. They've got different packages. And the first thing you've got to work out is whether you want monthly or annual. And these are all US dollars. So it's $42, 50, $43. And if you get that one, you're going to be capable and able to earn the income. Whereas if you get the $25 ones, you're not able to earn the income, right? You're just a customer. And so your options are either monthly or annual. So you just click on which one you want, choose a plan, and then it's pretty simple. Just go ahead, select the country, continue, put your details in, right? Put in a password and some other details here, 12 characters. That's a bit of a trick. Then confirm these agreements, submit, put your credit card details in, and it's all done. And you get this message pop up and it says you'll soon receive an email to create your new Calm account password. And so sure enough, there's a little bit of a delay before that comes through. So don't panic. And then you get this email from Newcom. It says, welcome to Newcom, blah, 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 and set up your password. You click on that and it's very simple.
Sorry, people, I have wrong video.
Five is ideal, but I often get four. Too many days of four will run anybody down. Sleep experts will tell you 6 to 8 hours. I go late into the night, and then I get up pretty early based on my schedule. So what will fulfill you in sleep is I do use a device called a Newcom device. You listen to this music that puts you in an alpha and a theta state. So it's like right on the edge of sleep. And I find it incredibly restorative. And I use it as a meditation device, and I do it for 27 minutes, and it feels like 2 hours sleep.
5 days ago, I was lying in bed listening to a new Calm session, and within minutes, my body reacted in a very strange way. I started sneezing continually, my nose was running, and I felt all weak. And I wasn't even sure what was happening initially. And then I realized occasionally this happens after I've had a delicious meal and I'm relaxed and contented. Anyway, what happened after that, I was excited because I'm thinking, man, here I am just listening to, as was Jim Quick, and all of a sudden I've had this change in my nervous system. My state of my nervous system had changed. And following that, my mind became clear, my focus returned, and suddenly I was able to work at a level I hadn't achieved in over a decade. Now, I've had massive success between 1985 and 2015. But over the last 10 years, I've struggled to get back to anywhere near that level. And for the last 13 days that I've been using Newcom daily, different sessions, depending on what I'm trying to achieve, the change has been dramatic. And I'll share more about that with you later in the presentation. What we're going to be looking at in this video is unlocking peak performance with Newcom and Social X. And Jim Poole is the CEO of Newcom, and he's going to explain to us how it works.
NewCalm has taken 33 years and $42 million of patented clinically proven neuroscience that used to be a 4-component complex $6,000 device into a mobile app. And on that app, there are 6 channels. So you as a consumer get to choose, how do I want to feel right now at this moment, and how do I want to activate this and get to a state without drugs or side effects. So deep sleep is used at night. It's used through a speaker. It is not binaural signal processing. It's called isochronic waveform. So through a speaker at night, you put on deep sleep, and within minutes, it simply cycles your brainwave down to 0.5 hertz and puts you to sleep. It's an 8-hour track, and along that journey of sleep, you're filling in gaps in your sleep architecture, and your sleep efficiency is improving. Then we have rescue, power nap, and flow state. These are the core clinical therapeutic values of NewCalm. Rescue has been used in over 2 million surgical procedures, replacing general anesthesia with people being operated on, listening to our physics. This is the key, this is the patents and all the stuff we've done across the years with cancer and multiple sclerosis and addiction and trauma and surgical procedures. Rescue is the key cornerstone neuroacoustic software of NewCalm. Rescue is the key for any athlete and any fan who is so excited, they get so amped up for the game, and then you win, you're amped up, and you lose, you're so disappointed. Rescue is something you do after performance for recovery. Reset my mind, reset my body, lower my stress response, raise my rest response. When I raise my rest response, I can be more patient, more present, more clear-headed, more focused, more energized, more calm. I'm not sabotaged by anxiety and fear and other people's concerns and worries. So rescue, power nap, and flow state are the recovery elements. Then we have focus. Focus was just released in July of 2022. It took us 7 years to create this. Focus oscillates your brain between 15 and 20 hertz. There's a specific frequency that correlates to high levels of clarity, concentration, and comprehension, and that's 18.4 hertz. The human brain can only stay in a thinking process like this, clear focus, for 15 to 20 minutes. It's called the Pomodoro technique. So for about 15 to 20 minutes, we can be focused. Then you'll notice your mind starts to distract, and we reach diminished returns. Well, not with physics, you don't. So we have a 47-minute full focus track. You put headphones on, and you are laser focused on what you're trying to accomplish. Then we have Ignite. Ignite is hugely beneficial to the professional athlete. For 6 years, we use this in confidence with 56 professional sports teams and across the Department of Defense, literally putting this into the hands or into the heads of Special Forces, Air Force Special Operations Command, Navy SEALs, etc. Ignite oscillates your brain starting at 15 hertz in a 14-minute neuroacoustic software journey all the way up to 40 hertz, where you're fully activated and ready to prepare for any performance, and you will have an unstoppable feeling of absolute certainty. Let me repeat that. An unstoppable feeling of absolute certainty. You will achieve anything you set your mind to because there is no distraction and you are fully activated, so you have full access to all of your muscle memory and all of your training.
Yeah, it really is incredible. There's no doubt about that. And now we're going to hear from Dr. Peter, who started using NewCalm way back in 2009. He's a dentist.
The transformation in my practice has been near miraculous since we started using NewCalm in November of 2009. After 20 months of use and over 1,800 patients treated, I simply can't and won't practice without it. So here's what I've learned. In these past 20 months of using my 3 systems of NewCalm, we can do safer, better dentistry. The local that I can give less local, it takes effect faster, and it no longer wears off. Their motor reflexes of gagging, twitching, salivating, sweating, all of that is either greatly reduced or eliminated. I've been tracking this. I've been saving 20 minutes of chair time per hour. That's a big number. Add that up over the course of the day and see what you can do with that.
And Isaac's got a great story. I mean, this guy's going to university, and not only to help him with his sport, his soccer, but also with his study.
As a goalie, there's moments, it's ups and downs. You make a big save, then you get filled with a rush. As a goalie, the biggest thing is just the next play and getting on with things. My name is Isaac Nalami. I am in my second year, sophomore year, here at the University of Denver, and I am the goalkeeper. Coming in my freshman year, we had our annual NewCalm meeting, and they introduced it to me, and I got to play around with. First, I was a little intimidated by it. I didn't know how I'd like it, but as soon as I got into it, I was like, okay, this is actually affecting me, and then I got into a rhythm with it, and I really started to like it. For me, I struggle with studying. I'm all over the place, so I use Focus quite often. I love the new Focus. From there, I started doing well in school, and then I realized, okay, it's less stressful when I'm doing well in school, and so it allowed me to be a better soccer player in a way. So for me, using Focus, it's really helped me to kind of find a quiet place for me. I'm someone that's all over the place, really. I can't really focus when I'm studying. My phone's going off. People are walking by, so it really helps me to just get into a study room and flip on the Focus, and then I'm locked in. It really helps me to just calm my heart rate down, slow me down, and I'm also able to retain information a lot better because I'm thinking just that music, I'm flowing, I'm just ready to go, so it just helps me to retain information while also just being a lot calmer while studying, reading, whatever it might be. In preseason, we're doing a lot of double days, and so in between, I was trying to squeeze in a quick nap, and I just did the rescue and tried to do a quick nap and try and rejuvenate my body before I had to go again in the afternoon, and it helped me a lot, and then I kind of got addicted from there. I kept using it and using it.
Yeah, and I've experienced the same thing with the Focus, right? And just keeping me on track whilst I'm sitting here at my desk. Because before, otherwise, my mind would be going all different directions, thinking about different things, and it was just scattered. And basically, I spent most of my day procrastinating, which was frustrating the socks off me. And this girl here, well, I mean, I love the fact that it can help the young kids as well, because a lot of them are under a lot of pressure as well, as we all know.
You lay down and you were newcoming for how long, roughly?
I was newcoming for about 32 minutes. I really noticed that I felt calm in a matter of minutes. And that's different from sleep. It felt very good because for sleep, there's a lot of thoughts going through your head through the day, because for me, it's a time to think. And those thoughts kind of swarm in my head, and it's kind of hard to go to sleep and to relax. But with Newcom, I mean, the music helped and I felt so much more calm. And whenever I started to get those thoughts, they just went away. And it was a great experience for me. I loved it.
Do you think other kids might enjoy this?
I think that kids would love it because right now with this age with tweens and teens, I think that even though it might not seem like it, there's lots of stress going on. It's the number one reason that it tells your body to kind of go to sleep and shut down and relax. And I thought that it's really helpful.
Now Jim's going to talk about the sports people that are using it.
In all of the sports teams, from baseball to football to hockey, it doesn't matter. They all have defined rest periods because we understand the need for rest. We just don't really have the tools to give them the rest until Newcomb came along. So they'll use rescue in the afternoon, then they'll go and they'll perform at night if the match is at night. They'll use Ignite on the way. They might use Ignite at halftime. And then at night, they shower, they do their media, they get on their commercial flight or they go home. They will use rescue again and then deep sleep. So it's a very habitual routine. And what I love about working with athletes is that if something works once, they'll use it twice. If it works well for them and helps their performance, they'll use it all the time. They're some of our best habitualized users of Newcomb and have been for more than 13 years.
And Jim Quick is a globally respected brain performance coach and memory expert who specialises in accelerated learning, focus, and mental clarity. He's got an amazing story.
So I want to thank you for creating this incredible technology. It's something that I use, our family uses, and our team uses every single day. I call it my secret weapon. I feel like I'm at a disadvantage if I don't use it. Right now, currently, I've been using Newcomb for over 5 years. Haven't missed a day. It's something that is part of my routine. The 3 that I'm using the most right now, Recharge. This is something that I need that 20 minutes, and I usually use it after lunch. And it's usually when I'm having a little bit of a lull. Around 2 or 3 o'clock is that time for me where I feel like, ooh, I've been on the computer too long. And that's what I do. I do Recharge 20 minutes, and I feel like afterwards it feels like I just got 4 hours of sleep. Okay, and I feel like a new person again. What I also use on regular is focus. I use that especially when I'm deeply creating. This is for my deep work. And then finally, I think the most important superpower that helps reset all of us that we often neglect is sleep. And for so many people, sleep is an issue. I don't use headphones for that. I put it onto our speakers right by my nightstand, and I find that my latency I fall asleep faster. I have better deep sleep, which is for my body. I have better enhanced REM sleep. And so here's the thing. These are things that are passive. That's what I love about Newcom. It's a passive experience, meaning I can set it and just forget it. It's something that I refer and I share with my team, with people, friends and family members also as well, and also clients, corporate clients, our celebrity clients, high-performing athletes, people who can't afford to make a lot of mistakes, with what they do. And so if you're even considering this is kind of a no-brainer.
I definitely agree with him. It's definitely a no-brainer once you've started using it. At the moment, it's just phenomenal. And I mean, one of the things we can work out is, how do I want to feel right now? I mean, Tony Robbins talks about, if you want to change your life, you've got to change your state. What I was so excited about is the fact that I can do it with this app, and I can choose what sort of state I want to be in. I mean, I too have just had a session with Rescue. I had about half-hour nap, an hour or so ago. And what is it, about 8 o'clock at night here at the moment. And I've been on the go since 4 o'clock this morning, trying to get this all ready. But I feel 100% now. It's just absolutely fantastic. We just have a quick listen to this.
And on that app, there are 6 channels. So you as a consumer get to choose. How do I want to feel right now at this moment? And how do I want to activate this and get to a state without drugs or side effects?
And see, what I've realized, that this is by far the best personal development program ever devised. I mean, if I think back on it, Dexter Yeager, when he came up with his system, he had us listening to tapes every day, audio cassette tapes, reading books every day, attending functions each week, right? Going to bigger functions monthly, and then some huge functions 3 or 4 times a year. And that was fantastic, right? And then Tony Robbins has been out there and running these big sessions. I mean, we paid for some of his stuff recently, right? Because I wasn't happy with the way I was performing. So I think if I add it up, it's about $855 or something US that I've spent, or we've spent, Linda and I have spent on, personal development type programs and attending weekend functions and so on virtually this year, in the last couple of months. And what happened when I got contacted about this? Well, it was a no-brainer for me to try it at only $43 US. I mean, why wouldn't I try it? And so that's what I did. But what had happened was my self-image had taken a hit, because I knew I was not working at my normal potential, my full potential, what I was capable of doing in the past. And so what I do each morning now, I'm using quite a lot of these during the day, but what I've got going on is, start off with this Wake Up with Jim Quick. I mean, that's the one I was listening to, and I'd listened to it for quite a few times. It's only 6 minutes, but I'd actually listened to it a lot of times. And he's got this meditation, a guided meditation that he takes you through. But obviously it wasn't just the meditation. It was what was going in there from the new calm. That's what made the change in my body. That's what made the change. I mean, I've been, the last 8 months, I've been doing a meditation every morning, 13-minute subconscious success habit from William Whitecloud. But never before had I had this sort of reaction like I had the other day, nothing like it. And man, I was so excited because I realized this little app has changed my mental state dramatically. I mean, as I say, Tony Robbins, he's out there. We just signed up to do a 5-day, 12 hours a day course with him, basically to learn how to change our state. Well, to be honest, I'm not even going to bother fronting up, because I can do it with my app in a matter of minutes. That's what's happening with these patients that are going to the dentist. They only are on it for a few minutes beforehand, and that changes them totally. And with focus, I can often have that running through my earplugs whilst working at my desk, or flow state. At the moment, I got Ignite going on in the background. That's actually going in as I'm speaking here now. But doing this, I can focus and concentrate much better. I've stopped procrastinating badly like I was. I mean, it was driving me nuts. I even had some help from an outside mate to help me try and get through that. And I'm certainly much more productive. And the good thing is, I'm feeling better about myself. because I'm getting back to my old self. And then the rescue, well, that's like a siesta. And, you know, as I say, I only had it about an hour ago, but that certainly re-energizes me and calms me. I just feel so much better. And then you're ready to roll. And then I'll have the, you know, the deepest sleep plus on during the night. And so you've got all these types of people that have been using it, right? And this is going back decades. That's what we're talking about here now, decades. And that's exciting because it's not as if it's something new and it hasn't been proven. Now, the other thing I just want to mention is the fact that they can actually do a stress test. And this is what I did to start with. As soon as I got it, and it was suggested to me that I do the stress test. And sure enough, I was a bit stressed out at the time. I knew that. I'd expected that. But then I immediately did the rescue, right? And, you know, about half an hour, 40 minutes later, because I fell asleep doing it. I was lying on the bed and just fell asleep while I was listening to it. But oh man, did I feel good when I woke up. And when I did the stress test again, it had changed quite dramatically for me in the right direction. The new Calm and Social X income opportunity is unbelievable. I promise you, this is so different to anything I've ever seen in the last 40 years. I had no idea. Now, I'm going to point a few things out here. We're going to take this slowly so you get an idea of it, because truly it was completely different to anything I'd done in the past. And I've been saying to a few people, I've got to unlearn some of the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. Stuart Finger is the CEO and the founder of Social X. He's a great guy. I ended up having a conversation with him on the phone on, well, it was Monday morning my time, it was Sunday night his time, right? I reached out to one of my upline, Michael Swilling, and the next thing I know, he's got the owner on the on the call with us. But he's a very intelligent networker with a huge heart to help everybody that gets involved. He wanted to be able to help everybody. Now, I've already always known or believed that you couldn't help everybody because they've got to be able to help themselves. And if they're not prepared to help themselves, nothing you can do. Well, they've still got to do a little bit to help themselves, but not that much, to be honest with you. And what we're going to do now is just have a quick listen to Stuart here. And this is from the call that I did, part of the call that I did Monday morning my time. It was actually Sunday night, dinner time, their time. And they took time out for me.
I hope and pray that you know I'm not the kind of guy that sits in the office. I'm the CEO that sits in the office. I want to be out in the field. I mean, that's why I choose to get paid from the comp plan, right? For two reasons. One, if I can't make it in the comp plan, how can I expect you to? And then two, I'm on the same side of the fence as you. So if I want a pay raise, you get one, right? Because I got to raise the comp plan. I mean, it's really exciting the way all this is playing out.
I can't tell you how excited I was when he told me that this guy does not get paid from the company. I mean, I was an Amway, right? I've been out there on Richard J's Enterprise 5, right, in the Mediterranean, did a cruise on that. But, you know, I remember being told by some of the upline diamonds that we only ever get the crumbs that fall off their table, but they're nice crumbs. Whereas this guy, he's not doing that, right? His sole income source is from the comp plan. And you can see that as we're going to go through some of this, I think you'll see what's different here. This is totally different to any other company I've been in. Sure, we've had other companies where people have been in networks, but then they jump the fence and they become corporate. Totally different. But just have a listen to this, right? This is how it all starts, right? Now, Social X was founded way back in 2015, so it's an established company. And the other gentleman that I was talking to who's in our upline, he was sharing with me that he'd made over $6 million in the last 10 years that he's been involved. And that's pretty handy because they only had a handful of health and nutritional products. And I mean a handful, that's all. And, you know, that helped me to understand that this comp plan definitely works. The fact that he could make that much money, that's huge.
On the very first way we pay out, it's very simple. It's 50% of all of the commission volume the order generates. So when somebody gets it and buys, about 50% is commissionable. And then if you're the one that makes the sale, you get 50% of that. Okay, so it's really that simple. And most people are either buying Newcom monthly for $42.49, so $21.25 of that is commissionable. Okay, and this qualifies you for all your pay for a month. And then of course you can buy it annually, brings it all the way down to like $38.25 a month. But here's the cool part. The monthly saves you 15%, the annual saves you 23%, but we let it qualify you for the whole entire year. So if you buy this for a whole year, you don't have to buy anything else unless you want to. But what it's supposed to be about is residual income, money that comes in month after month, year after year. So here's the second way we pay out on all reorders, whether it's Newcom or other products, whatever it is, on all reorders, whether it's monthly or annually. If you have just one member that's direct to you, one customer / associate, you'll make 5%. If you have 3, you'll make 20%. It goes to 4 times. So most people are at least shooting for 3 for multiple reasons in our company. This is one of the reasons. And I believe if we can get the average person to really get 3, we can change this industry. Okay. So you'll see all the reasons why we're pushing people to at least just do a little and get 3. And how do they do it? By getting them to get Newcom with a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. Then if you get 7, it's 30%. 14 is 40. And then of course we got lots of people shooting for 21 because that's 50% on all reorders for life. Well, we wanted to have a way for people to even qualify easier. So for everyone that buys Newcom annually, so it does a couple of things. It saves them 23%. It qualifies them for a whole year where they don't have to buy another thing. And it moves them to this pay scale on the right instead of the one on the left that I just showed you. Now it's this simple, guys. Double the pay for one customer, 10%. Jumps all the way to 25% if you have 3. And 3 is a sweet spot. It's a magic point. We literally put a bonus on just bringing in 3 customers. Does not matter whether they spend $42.49 or the $458. When you bring in 3, it could just be 3 monthlies. You're going to get a $50 bonus. That happens when you get 3 on either side. Doesn't matter whether you're on the monthly or the annual, you get that bonus. You're manager 3. The next step is manager 7. To get 7, now it pays you just like you got 21. So the difference between buying Newcom annually is you're on this scale. You never have to go to 21 to get the 50%. You can go to 7, plus there's a bonus. When you become a manager 7, whichever scale you're on, whichever side, you get a $200 bonus. Depending on whether they buy the monthly or the annual, the minimum you'll make if everybody does the monthly is $325. The max, if everybody buys the annual, is $950. It's usually about $500 because there's an average in there.
He's dead right. That's exactly what happened for me. I mean, for the first week, I didn't do anything, or the first 6 days, because I just wanted to test it out and see if I could work better. And I did. I ended up coming up with a little video, and I believe it's one of the best things I've ever done. But that was finished on the Friday, and then I started sharing this with people on the Saturday, because I'd proven to myself that it had helped me. And anyway, in about a 24-hour period, I ended up putting in 10 people, and that was pretty exciting. And so I'd already started seeing bonuses coming through like he's talking here, and didn't understand the comp plan. Then I realised, well, gee, Trev, you better get out there and upgrade. And so I've done that, but I hadn't even looked at the comp plan, when I signed up. I just wanted to see if the product worked because I had a problem. But here I'm just trying to share with you what happens. So this is assuming that everybody, both you and the new people that are getting in, what we call personal directs, the people that you introduce, are all buying the $43 monthly, right? So if you buy that one, you end up getting about 25% of the cost of it back. So it's a little bit more than the $10, but it just makes it easier, $10, right? So you introduce 3, and then what happens? That's $30 there for the $10 that you're getting back for each of them. And then what will happen? You get a manager 3 rank advancement bonus. So that's another $50. So I'm looking at this and thinking, man, I put $43 out and I got $80 back. And I'm thinking, well, one of the goals in network is to get money into your new people's hands when they first get in the business as soon as possible. And I'm thinking here, they haven't put much in the first place anyway, but they've nearly doubled it with just 3 people. And so then I'm thinking, okay, what happens next? I actually go through and do it all out one at a time to start with. But then sure, you end up, if you've got 7 in there, then what happens is you're going to have 7 lots of the 10, which is 70, but now you're qualified as a manager 7 as well. Well, that's an extra $200. So you've got a total of $320 US for introducing 7. And I'm sitting there thinking, that is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that in any other network, ever. Not even close. I mean, if people get their money back, or maybe even double it, but not 7.5 times for introducing 7 people, give me a break. And then I started to think, okay, well, how much has actually been invested by the 7 directs? How much money has the team put in? Well, it's pretty simple to work out, really. I could do it in my head. There was 7 lots of 43, 301. And that's when I was glad that I'd spoken to the guys the day before. Because initially I'm looking at it and thinking, how can they pay out more than what they've taken in? How can they do that? But it's been designed by a networker. He understands the value, the importance of getting money into the hands of the new people straight away, right? So this is including the $200 and the $50. I only ever pay that out once. And I looked at it and said, okay, well, if you add in half of the $43 that I put in as well, that's how it gets up to the $320. It's taken half and given me half my money back as well. But that's just the cash flow within that 24-hour period, or a week, I guess, because I paid a week earlier. But that was mind-blowing. But I want you to stop and have a think about this. Imagine going out and sharing this with people. How many people do you think would be pretty excited about being able to make $320? And all as I've done is sponsor 7 people who have spent just $43 USD. And about $65 straight, no shipping, no tax. All commissionable. Mind-blowing. Then I started comparing it with some other networks that I've been in the past. And thinking, okay, just supposing this is the minimum cost to get in, it only cost them $43 to have a business. Plus they've got a month's supply of the product. And I'm thinking, well, what would be the minimum cost for these other companies I've been in the last 15 years? And if someone started off at the minimum, how much would they have made if they'd introduced 7 other people at the minimum? Well, the answer in both systems was 0. 0. I think every network I've ever been in, if you were starting off at the minimum and you introduced 7 people at the minimum, probably going to end up much the same. That's if they wanted to build a business. Anyway, just exciting, but to think about it. But just have a think, okay, if you think this is a good idea, do you think you'll be able to find 7 others who might think it's a good idea, worthwhile, risking $43? Now, you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee anyway, but nevertheless, prepared to put their hand in their pocket at least for $43. $65 Australian. I mean, you'd spend more on a Chinese feed, a heap more if you wanted to have a drink to go with it, just for the 2 of you. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. But look what had happened. Just supposing you got 7 and you help the others, those people get 7. It'd be 49 at the next level, then 343, then 2,401, then 16,300. That's only 5 levels deep. You'd have nearly 20,000 in your team. 20,000 in your team. And now we're going to go back to Stuart again, and he's going to teach us about the power of Manager 3.
Manager 3, the power of Manager 3. This is our focus. How does it happen? You get in the company, you have one quick goal, get to Manager 3. What does that mean? You put 3 people on your team now. Besides all the money I just showed you, you're getting paid an additional 2% on all the commission volume they generate for life. And so, since you brought them in, you're getting that 50% plus the 2. We give them one main goal: become a Manager 3. That's their job. Go get 3, become a Manager 3. That puts 9 more people on your team. Don't worry, they're going to get paid the 50% and all that stuff, but you get a pay raise. You get 3% of all their commission volume. And what do we teach them? The system teaches them, get 3, Manager 3. Now there's 27 folks on your team, another pay raise, 4% on all the commission volume they generate for life. But what are we teaching them? Go Manager 3. You can see the trend here. It's about many hands make light work. everybody just become a manager 3. And if they become a manager 3, they're automatically putting 3 people each on your team, right? As this keeps going and we keep teaching it, just for 7 levels, I'm just going to take it 7 levels deep. It actually pays 20 levels. 2,187 people, 10%. Here's the question. Where would you rather have the biggest percentage for long-term residual income? Where you have 3 people maxed or where 2,187 can be there? Of course, the answer is where you have the most people, right? Creating the most CV. That's why we set the plan up like this. Those 2,187 people are going to have one goal, goal manager 3. But for this presentation, we're going to pretend like they don't know anybody that would want Newcom. We're just going to talk about if this is your team and everybody just went manager 3, if they were buying the monthly Newcom, you'd be making over $6,000 a month. If they buy it annually, you'd be making over $57,000 a year. And nobody had to bring in more than 3 people. Nobody has to be more than a manager 3 for this to work. But what if they're going for that $200 and that 50% for life, right? Then they're actually bringing in 7, not 3. It actually makes this happen quicker and bigger. In our company, you can have an unlimited amount of these, all working at the same time for you simultaneously. So why is that a big deal? If one could pay you $6,000 a month, it stands to reason 2 could pay you $12,000. You know, if 2 could pay you 12, 3 could pay you 18. What could 10 pay you?
Yeah, what would 10 of those business centers be like? Huh? And seeing what's happened now, my head's back and I can think clearly again. The first time for so long, it doesn't matter, to be honest. I've just been so sidetracked by everything else that's going on. I think I can track it back to when the social media took off, right? And I mean, when we first had Facebook, you were seeing your friends and all that sort of stuff. That wasn't negative. But I reckon for the last 8 or 10 years, it's just been negative the whole time. And it's affected me. There's no doubt of that. You know, we've been through COVID as well. And, you know, with all the stuff going on in the world, it's so easy to worry about all that all the time. But what I find is when I got these, you know, music going into my ears, there's no words there. And the fact that it's all hyped up with whatever they've done to change it, it's made a huge difference to me. I can now concentrate clearly. And what I've realised that I can go and do what a friend did at another company I was with, where he sponsored 120, 130 people fairly quickly and ended up with something like 70, 80,000 people, you know, in 18 months. Well, after putting in 10 last weekend, when I put in one day's effort, really, I believe I can sponsor 120. It's not going to take that long. And that's why I've spent all week putting this little presentation together. You'll think it's going to help people understand what's going on, because this is totally different to anything else we've ever seen. See, in a forced matrix, spillover must occur if anybody introduces more than 3, because it's what they call a 3 by 20 matrix. So everybody's just got 3 people underneath them, and then each people they put in, they've got another 3 underneath them, they've got another 3 underneath them, and so on. It goes down 20 levels deep. And so I looked at it here and said, okay, basically, even though if I was to put 3 in and then put another 9 in on the next level and then 27 on the next level and then 81 on the next level, as it turned out, that'd be 120 total. But what amazes me is a lot of people, if you've got people upline, you're going to end up with spillover. And what is amazing, and this took me a long while to get my head around and go back and keep checking, could this be right? Could this be right? An active direct has not enrolled anybody. Now, a manager 3 is a manager with 3 active directs. What that means, for a manager 3 to qualify and be paid down 7 levels and to make that, you know, $6,000 a month, if everybody was on the monthly, he'd have to have 3 people, and it wouldn't matter if they had never introduced anybody, ever. All he's got to do is simply introduce 3 people. That's it, not 3 teams, 3 people. And if they remain active, you can qualify for all matrix payments down to that level 7, which was just 7 levels of the 20. even if they never sponsor anyone. So you've got to let that sink in. See, that is so different to anything we've ever heard in networking. I mean, normally we'd say you could only help those who help themselves. What Stuart shared on a webinar, podcast or whatever, was the fact that being in these matrices, he wanted to be able to help everybody. Now, they've got to do a little bit, but I mean, how minimal is that? You've got to find 3 people to part with $43 each month. You don't have to build a team. You just got to be in there. You've got to stay active, and that's it. And a manager 7 with 7 active directs, again, they don't even have to have sponsored anybody. Will be paid down to level 15. Well, that's just mind-blowing where that would end up at. But anyway, and the exciting part of this is this next part, right? I mean, what we've looked at so far is good, don't get me wrong. It's awesome. But just wait till you have a look at this bit. This is the part he's got copyrighted. Nobody else has got this. It's copyrighted. Just have a listen to what he says here.
Here's why you really want to do this. You get in our company, you bring in your first 3 people, Joe, Jane, and Tim in this scenario. Now you bring in a 4th one. In any other company in the world, in a 3x4 matrix, they would go right there under Joe. Lee would be on the first level for Joe, right there. But in our company, the computer system says, hey, wait a minute. I got to take care of the person that brought them in, because the computer's going to insert you all over again. Now you can earn 20 levels from that point down. So Lee is on the first level for that new you. So when she purchases or her team purchases, you're going to get paid right there. Don't worry about Joe. Joe didn't do anything, and he's going to get paid off of Lee's whole team. But then look who's above Joe. It's you again. Everybody, that's double pay off of one sale. Lee counts to fill your U number 2 and your top one, your U number 1. One person just counted to fill 2 of your matrices. Folks, double pay, less people to fill it, and this is where it gets interesting, because now if you bring in another person, where do you think they'll go? Since we've already helped Joe, the computer system says, let's help Jane next, right? That's fair. You're going to get paid double pay on everything Anna does and her team. And then if you bring in someone else, it'll help Tim. Rick is going to pay you double pay and everyone else on his team. If you bring in another person, it's going to go back to Joe, because it keeps everything equal. If you bring in another one, back to Jane, another one to Tim. And then, of course, if you bring in another one and another one and another one, it'll fill just like this. The most important thing, look at you at the top, and then look at you 9 positions on that second level. That's a total of 10 positions that you can now earn that $6,000 a month from, right? So you can times that by 10.
I mean, that is mind-blowing. And see, that's why this one is unlimited. Normally with a matrix, once you get down 20 levels deep, that's it. You cut off. You can't, even if you have other people jump in down below that, you make nothing out of that. And even if you personally enroll them, right? Whereas here, it doesn't matter. You might have been personally enrolling and your matrix is filling up and you're down on the 17th level. Well, it doesn't just go 3 levels after that. It goes another 20. So it's unlimited depth. And you can keep putting people in. I mean, it's mind-blowing. And again, just look here how you'll love the profit sharing positions, multiply your income. All this happens automatically. So imagine this guy down here places an order on the bottom left. You've enrolled him. So your position down there is going to get 2%. Your position under you, right, is going to get another 3%, that second position. You'll get 3%, and your original position up the top is 4%. So all up, you get paid 3 times from that one order. It's mind-blowing. Now, look, don't expect to understand it all one go through. Watch the video a couple of times. You can see the full resources, and the comp plan there in detail is under the resources tab in your back office, because I had a couple of people ask for it. But if you can see it here, right, when you've sponsored 4, then you've got 2 business centers. First 3, you don't get one, but when you put the 4th one in, you get another center. when you sponsor every person after that you put in, you get another business centre. So if you've sponsored 20, you'll end up with 18 business centres. Profit sharing positions, he calls them. Mind blowing. If you put in 50, you'll have 48. Put in 100, you'll have 98. Put in 120, 118. It's pretty simple, but the idea of this multiple payments for the one order going through is absolutely incredible. We'll just have a listen to what he's got to say here, because truly this is exciting. This is very, very, very exciting.
Imagine if you put in 7 people, 2 of them catch the vision and go nuts, and you get paid $89,250 on top of everything else from the comp plan. Folks, it can happen. How? Because everyone focuses on $42.49 for the monthly or $458.99 for the annual. And I want you to know 100% of this volume counts to rank you up. So you're going to love our bonus system. It's really incredible. Last thing I'll show you, it's our worldwide loyalty bonus pool. These are for the people that just focus on building social acts. You know, they could be earning money from 10 different other companies. We don't care. You know, they could be earning money from 10 different other companies. We don't care. You know, they could be earning money from 10 different other companies. We don't care.
Man, I wanted you to hear that. You could be earning money from 10 different other companies and Stuart Finger does not care. I promise you, this is an exciting new trend now in MLM companies. We're lucky enough to be involved with a couple of companies with the same attitude, and that is exciting. That is exciting, exciting, exciting. And the other thing he said there was the fact that if you'd sponsored, introduced 7 people and 2 of them went ballistic, you have got to have 2 teams. To hit the last few ranks, you've got to have 2 teams, right? And there's a 60% rule in there. Don't worry about it. But generally speaking, up until the level 15, you don't have to have any qualifications. You can get down to that without anything. All you're doing is just putting in people, putting in people, putting in people. There's no structure you got to have. There's nothing they've got to have or anything else. And yeah, so it's exciting.
I am thrilled that David introduced me to Stu and the team. I am thrilled because our neuroscience company has spent 32 of 36 years being scientists, figuring out the brain. We mapped the entirety of the brain. From 2009 to 2021, it is true, we were one product, Rescue. Took everybody to 4 hertz. But taking the mathematics, we were able to manipulate the outcome. 0.5 hertz is deepest sleep and deepest sleep plus. 4 hertz is rescue and power nap. 7.83 hertz, the intersection of alpha and theta, is flow state. 18.4 hertz is focus. 40 hertz is priming, and 41 hertz is ignite. We did this, but we've never had a sales team. We've never had a marketing budget. So how have we sold $37 million of a 4-component, $6,000 FDA Class 3 medical device to FedEx Pilots Union, the DOD, the DOJ, 78 professional sports teams, thousands of doctors, because the product is a game changer. And you guys have exclusive rights and access in any network marketing aspect in the world. You are our partner, and we are entrusting you with the best product in the world. And here's how good this is. This is math and physics, you guys. This doesn't discriminate or discern its audience, from in utero to 100 years old, from Africa to China, from male to female, from disease to healthy. It doesn't matter. Math and physics. We're not seeking any information from your brain. This isn't neurobiofeedback. We're directing your brain to a frequency outcome we know is associated with that frequency. You want to sleep? 0.5 hertz. You want to restore? 4 hertz. So this is such an exciting opportunity for us. David's been a very patient man, very patient. He has found a true partner. He knows the integrity, the honor, and nobility of who we are. We do the right thing when no one's looking. You'll never see us do otherwise. But we're in a place where we can help so many people. The profound testimonials that you're going to get from friends and family, from people in your network, are going to blow your mind. And it's never going to get old. And some of them are going to seem magical, whether it's a woman with flesh-eating bacteria leaving the hospital 2 days after they said they were going to amputate her leg in Canada, whether it's a woman 4 months in a coma, leaves the hospital a week later, and the doctor's like, how'd you do this? We reduced the cerebral spinal fluid in her brain. We reduced the stress in her brain and the inflammation. It's not rocket science. The body knows how to heal. So we are so excited for you to be our professional, noble, and honorable people in the field, sharing with the world, hey, would you like to have access to what used to be a $6,000 FDA Class 3 medical device and used to be exclusively available only to Navy SEALs, Special Forces, the FBI Hostage Rescue Team, 78 professional sports teams, the FedEx Pilots Union, thousands of doctors and cancer patients, now in a mobile app. Would you like that? I suspect no one's going to say no, because we're going to help you with your sleep and we're going to help you modulate the frequency of your brain. It is amazing. It sounds too good to be true, but David knows this. It's even better than it sounds.
Yeah. But, you know, as a networker, the fact that we're in 100 countries, and that includes India, China, South Korea, and Vietnam, I mean, usually there's some of the latest markets they go into. But of course, here with an app, they've been able to go straight in. And I wouldn't mind betting that today could be the day you look back on and say, that's when everything started to change. Because I know that's what happened for me 2 weeks ago. I was contacted on the Saturday, spent some time checking it out that night. I always want to see a bit more information than what they sent me, just a 3-minute video. And but then signed up the following day, right? Didn't even bother looking at the campaign. I just wanted to try the product. And it's absolutely fantastic. So it's been an absolute pleasure sharing with you. Suggest you get back with whoever sent you the link to this video and their referral link. And what do you got to lose, guys? Less than the cost of a Chinese feed. Okay. Thank you very much. Bless you. Bye.